Well, welcome back, everybody. Well, in our never-ending quest to provide you with information about issues that we face for the area that we live in, we like to get into certain topics. And one just struck me the other day because I walked out of my house and I looked up and I thought, gutters. Now, before you run for the door, you're going to want to know more about this subject. So we found an expert, Eric Minkowitz, who's the president of Huff and Puff, a remodeling company in our area, who also happened to be the local dealers for a gutter system and a gutter protection system that you really want to know about. Welcome back, Eric. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me here.
Let's just talk a bit about the particular issues that people in our area, in the North Country here, face with regard to gutters and gutter systems.
Sure. Water is the #1 cause of damage, I think, with any home, right? Mm-hmm. People think fire, water, but water is a major contributor to damage. So typically problems people face around their home, that relate to water are rotted siding, windows, doors that can rot out, right? Sure. Fascia. Also things like landscaping, right? Damaged landscaping. You see those telltale sign of those ruts that you see, in your gardens outside the house. More severely, foundational damage, right? Water seeps into the foundation. People have leaky basements, right? Water comes into the basement, and those can be very costly problems that are caused by water. From several $1,000s, $10,000 to $20,000 to remove insulation, sheetrock in a basement, and redo the basement, to actually having to repair a foundation wall, which is an upwards of $20,000, $30,000 just to start. So water damage can be very, very expensive to a home, and where gutters come in is gutters sit along the roof edge of the home,
right,
and they allow water to come off the roof, and properly installed gutters will channel the rainwater away from the home where it belongs, and where it's not going to cause damage, to the things that we discussed: the roofing, the siding, the insulation in the attic, the siding, the landscaping, the walkways, the foundation.
Right, I know. And when it comes to this, how many times do you pass a home where you see where the gutters are hanging down because of the rough weather, especially where the seams are, right? That seems to be the case. Again, and at this time of year, everybody wants to get out and try to clean their gutters. So, all gutters are not created equal, right?
Right.
And then what do you do to try to protect that gutter system from the elements or the leaves that back it up and prevent the system from doing its job?
Sure. Well, the gutter systems that we use are seamless aluminum gutters, right? So we use
that's a good idea.
Yeah. So you talk about the seams, right? It's very
common.
You see gutters that are installed in 10-foot sections. Water drips from the seams, and
absolutely.
That causes a lot of problems as well. Not to mention it's annoying. So the gutters that we make, they're seamless aluminum gutters. We make them on site. We can make them, over 100 feet long if we want to. We come in a truck. We actually roll form the gutters right on site to fit the exact specifications of the house.
Wow.
Homeowners love to come and watch the way we manufacture the gutters. It's really kind of neat the way we do it on site. But that ensures that there's no breaks, during those long stretches of gutters that lead to the leaks. In the Northeast, where there's a lot of expansion and contraction, you have that metal expanding, and those seams are after a year or so they're going to fail.
Yeah, I can tell you, they just fail.
Yeah.
Big issue, and a lot of us are facing it right now. Get out the ladder.
Yeah.
Let's get up there, and whatever's been living in there is obviously preventing the gutter system from doing it. What I found particularly interesting is you represent something called gutter helmet. Now, there's a name for you, Eric.
Yeah.
What does this system do, and why do you represent it?
Well, gutter helmet is a solid aluminum cover that goes over the top of rain gutters. Right. It comes off the roof, and it goes over the top of rain gutters, and it allows all the water to get into the gutters and keeps all the leaves and debris out of the gutters. Right.
You know what? I don't want to take up too much time talking about this, but you would think if there's a cover over a gutter, all it's doing is taking that water and then it's bypassing the gutter, which is causing you problems because that's why you had the gutters in the first place, so that water wouldn't run off.
Sure.
What's unique about this idea?
Well, it works on the principle of surface tension. It's patented. So surface tension is like if you pour water out of a glass, the water will run down
the side of the glass.
Right, down your arm. So the gutter helmet works the same way, and it's been tested in rainfalls up to twice the heaviest recorded rainfall on record. So, you know, it really does allow all the leaves, all the water to get into the gutter, keeps the leaves and debris out. And even better, you know, we have a lifetime guarantee that you'll never have to clean it again. So, you know, you talk about dangerous, you know, or things that you find in the gutter. It's, you know, we install probably 1,000 of these jobs a year, and we see all kinds of things. You know, we come to people's house and we find, you know, dead animals and rodents on the ground that they pull out of the gutters. You know, according to the National Safety Council, falls around the home are the #1 cause of accidental death and disabling injuries. Right?
That's right.
So you know, I don't say these things to try to scare people, but you know, it's a reality. You know, we see a lot of people, and they're just either tired of cleaning gutters because it's such a disgusting job, or you know, they just don't want to risk life and limb doing it. You know, and for a few dollars, you know, it's a small investment. You know, they can eliminate that chore of having to do it ever again, and they can, you know, solve a lot of very expensive problems. You know, potential problems that can come down the road.
Well, this is, you know, this really sounds to me, it's an ounce of prevention. You know, I just want to cycle back for a second. You know, just think about it. You've got a finished basement. You made that investment. That's tens of thousands of dollars. If the water isn't diverted away from that foundation and it gets down in that wall, you're in for a big one, right? You know, not to mention if it rots the windows out or it does things to your concrete walkways and those kinds of things. I really have two other things I want to ask you about.
Sure.
Say you've got a really good gutter system in place. You'll install this cover system that we're talking about and leave the existing gutter system there, right? You don't have to go in and knock out the whole thing.
No, not at all. No,
Yeah, okay.
we can do either. We're very flexible. You know, gutter helmet installs over new or existing gutters.
Right.
So if the gutters that you have are in good condition, you know, we can come, especially in the spring, it's very popular. One of the services that we provide is we'll clean out all the gutters so that there's nothing in them. You know, it's the last time they'll ever have to be cleaned again. And then we'll go through a tune-up on the gutter system to make sure it's attached tight. Then we'll install the gutter helmet over the existing gutters, and you know, that's the last time they'll have to clean them.
Okay, weekend warriors, no more gutters, no more cleaning of the gutters. I got news for you. That sounds pretty good to me.
People like to scratch that one off the list.
Oh, I bet they do. Just one last question.
Sure.
Then we're out of time. We get hit in the winter really hard.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times I look up and I think to myself, that ice is just going to take this gutter right out.
Right.
You know, is there anything that a homeowner can do? I mean, the idea of this gutter helmet sounds fantastic for all the reasons that you mentioned.
Right.
What about the winter? Will it take it out?
Well, gutter helmet in itself, you know, protects the fascia board and the edge of the roof line from snow and ice by keeping the snow and ice out of the gutter where it belongs.
Right.
A couple years ago, Gutter Helmet actually came out with a new product called Helmet Heat. And
Well, there you go.
right? Catchy name, right?
Yes, right.
But it's installed inside the gutter helmet, so it's a cable system that's tucked neatly inside the gutter system.
Good.
And it keeps the gutters free-flowing during the winter, so it keeps that snow and ice from building up and huge icicles from forming on the edge of the gutter helmet. But it also keeps the bottom of the gutter flowing, you know, to keep that water moving in winter, you know, when things are typically frozen. The helmet heat helps to, you know, to solve that ice problem. And the nice thing is it's an energy efficient solution. You know, it's a self-regulating cable, so it's not consuming up a lot of energy. You know, when the temperature warms up, it you know, it dials itself down. So it's been extremely popular in the Northeast. We've had a lot of success with it, just eliminating, you know, ice and snow problems with gutters.
Well, you know what? We choose to live in this climate. It's great to have an expert like Eric come in and tell us things that, like, you know, the little lights go on there.
Well, we live in a beautiful area, you know, so why not just make the best of it? Right?
Yeah, well, you have some solutions to make it that way. So, so thank you. So no more ladders. I don't have to get up on the ladder.
You do not have to get up on the ladder again.
Okay, no. You're in. Yep. I'll tell you that right now.
Yep.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.